In this video, we're going to talk about Frodobots. Frodobots is one of the most interesting teams I've seen in the crypto space. They're building multiple really interesting products, and essentially they're a team to really watch. So Frodobots is known for their Sidewalk robots, which are $200 each. We're actually releasing a newsletter on them, and we're doing a deep dive. So you can find that at roboticalpha.substack.com. You don't need to subscribe. You can go check it out. Now, what is Frodobots? So basically, their core product is a $199 robot with an upgraded camera and GPS. Essentially, it can be remote controlled via browser by anywhere. So it's a little sidewalk robot that you just drive around. The whole goal here is they create these challenges and competitions. So one of those competitions is the Earth Rover Challenge, which is humans versus AI in real cities. And the goal is to see which performs better in real life, humans or AI. This gameplay then generates really valuable robotics data because, as you can imagine, having a little robot go around on sidewalks being driven around by random people is going to generate a lot of edge case data because people are going to try doing weird random things with it, and that's going to create a lot of edge cases. Now, a lot of users, and I'm not talking about crypto users, I'm talking about traditional Web2 users, are already using Frodobots. As you can see on their TikTok, they have 53K followers, 1.3 million likes. They have 4.7 million views on this video. You essentially have a lot of these viral videos. They're uploading a lot of content. Some of them go viral, some of them don't, but they are actually getting a lot of traction. And if you look at their Discord, it is a lot of traditional Web2 users who just think it's cool and they're buying the robots to drive them around. And they're generating a ton of data with this. And this data is then used by researchers and so on. It's like Mario Kart, but with real life robots. That's a great way to put it. So the parallel here is to Pokemon Go, right? Pokemon Go provided a lot of real world immersion with how they went around their product, and this is similar. It kind of tackles that same kind of spark of like interacting the real world, but with an actual game. And then you're driving your robot through real streets in real cities. You can order it to yourself. You can basically even remote browser control other robots. And then this fun gameplay leads to valuable data being essentially collected, right? The reason that teams like DeepMind have been collaborating with Frodobots on some of these competitions is because this solves a very, very critical problem, right? The core problem with robotics right now is that data is really hard to come by. LLMs have massive amounts of training data from online sources, from books. You can essentially scrape the internet and just have a ridiculous amount of information. While with robots, you don't really have that real world movement data, and that's a big problem, right? Real environments are unpredictable. They're very messy, and Frodobots is trying to tackle that by actually gamifying data collection, making it a fun thing. Because the thing is, if you are a centralized company, you would basically have to employ hundreds of people driving these robots around full time, and then these people are employed to do it, so they're not really trying to figure out the edge case, so they're just like kind of bored at their jobs. Meanwhile, people are actually doing this for free because they think it's kind of fun and it's cool, and they can do these cool robotic competitions. And that's where, Frodobots comes in, right? And they're collecting GPS data, they're collecting video data, sensory data. Every run creates a data library of edge cases. Basically, these gamers become contributors to AI progress, right? Now, the cool part about Frodobots, and I do want to say this is a larger ecosystem. So there's Frodobots, of which Sam is kind of their main AI agent. So Sam is like essentially a robot that is a virtual agent, so it has a token. And AI agents like Sam go and complete missions autonomously. These robots can earn crypto via rental. So if you own a robot, you can rent it out for crypto. Rewards are shared between owners and agents. So there's this whole kind of robot economy that these guys are trying to build, right? So Frodobots, almost think of it as like a robot as a service meets gaming. So they have these various agents, they have these tournaments. You are essentially able to like even create your own agent. You basically have these different tournaments, right? So you have this Earth Rover Challenge, you have Ultimate Fighting Bots, you have ET Fuji, which is kind of like almost like a treasure hunt kind of game. They're gamifying robotics in a really, really cool way. So why does this model matter? This solves robotics' biggest problem, which is data collection. It's a huge problem. It combines consumer appeal with scientific value. And like I said, if you're able to really scale this, let's say you have tens of thousands of robots and people basically playing and contributing data, and there's rewards there through crypto rails, you're essentially able to just scale up data collection at a level that's just pretty much impossible, right? Like a small robotics startup is not going to be able to get 10,000 people to contribute data by running their robots all day. way. And people are paying for these robots, right? Now, the crypto aspect of this is that's like one of the best ways for distributing value, right? So I think that's how they're thinking about this. You can think of this as a DeepMind project that's like both robotics and AI and also DeepMind. But these robots basically become game assets and infrastructure nodes, right? So you start having this economy where you have these gaming economies where you have robot rentals, mission hosting, data set sales, and then the economy works because you're actually getting these larger companies to pay for this data. In a year or two, I do think you're going to start see a lot of these big revenue deals come through for teams like Frodobots, right? And it's really a preview of where AI is going in the physical world. So the reason that a lot of play to earn didn't really work is because there's no sustainability behind it. Like, what's the value being generated by you playing a simple game? There's no real value. But on the other hand, with robotics, there is real value being generated. So it does make it something into, if somebody's really good at finding these edge cases with robots and like really trying to break them, they could potentially earn decent rewards because they're now essentially contributing to this crowdsourced pool of data that is valuable to companies that are willing to pay for it. So thank you for watching. Go check out the upcoming Substack and go check out Frodobots and basically Michael. They're also building BitRobot network. Think of it as BitTensor for robotics. So essentially you have these subnets where you have these different, robotic subnets where people can contribute data, train models, etc. and you get rewarded for that. So BitRobot is also an interesting project. I want to cover them fully in another video, but the whole BitRobot/Frodobot/SAM ecosystem is extremely interesting. Go check it out and go check out the Substack for a primer on everything that's happening in this ecosystem.